a quick video hopefully about LinkedIn. And a lot of people seem to know about Indeed, which was actually apparently started a little later in 2004, where LinkedIn was started in 2002, and it's a Silicon Valley based startup or company, and it's now currently owned by Microsoft as well. And it also acquired another company called Lynda so that you could do virtual training tutorials to improve your business skills, your career skills, and things like that. So Indeed is a more basic platform where you would search for jobs and see the quick benefits, and it's really like a souped up version of Craigslist for jobs. Whereas LinkedIn is really much more powerful, and you can basically do everything pretty much that you would want to do on Indeed, on LinkedIn, but with more depth and more span and more spectrum. And you also get these handy dandy profiles, which I'll go into. So LinkedIn basically is the most powerful tool for connecting with people. And in the world of business, at least for many years, making connections is the most important thing in business. It supersedes everything. And this includes skills and training. It really does supersede. So really, it's important to understand the significance of a good connection versus shooting a crapshoot to find people and positions and things like that randomly on a place like Indeed or Craigslist or maybe even Facebook jobs or whatever. It's basically like a professional or business or career-oriented version of Facebook. So you would have, mostly more professional career-oriented posts and websites. These little things are like little miniature websites that can also lead to other websites about you or your company. And it's really a networking site that's really oriented towards, the business side versus Facebook. However, a lot of people use Facebook for business, which is really an interesting way to go about things. And a lot of people look for many leads and other aspects of marketing and things like that on Facebook. And there's all these advertising, and there's some of that on LinkedIn as well. So anyway, I'll go over the main aspects of LinkedIn. So firstly, you have your profile page, and you have different sections, and you can sort of add or adjust the different kinds of things that are previewable by your audiences. And so this is where they would get a bird's eye view of what you're about. And so if you post something as well, you can have your activity shown to whoever you're connected with. And if you add tags, of course, it's similar to all the social media sites where they're going to sort of be more impressions of your post based on the kinds of content within it. Of course, there's a lot of algorithmic and AI-based stuff going on behind the scenes to propagate your presence in different ways. So this is the main profile page, and then you have a connections page. And so this is the big difference between LinkedIn and its main competitor, Indeed, I guess. And there used to be another one, Monster. I don't know. Are people still using Monster? I don't even know. But here, you literally can connect directly to the people that will be significant. Now, when you get older, it comes with a mixed bag because you do realize that the connections you're looking for, they have to be distilled first, and then you go into additional information about yourself or ways to get at them. But the problem is, it's a different ball game when you're dealing with people more embedded in the corporate system, and they're not necessarily going to be as forthcoming as just a friendly person on LinkedIn, or on Facebook, and you may have to come up with a different avenue to engage with them, because engagement is probably the most difficult part of the platforms for business, because money talks in the business world, and a lot of the people come to LinkedIn, they're just looking for work. They don't have this clout and this prestige necessarily. So it's very difficult to get an engagement, and it's also difficult to have the link point in a direction So if you have somebody that works at a company, they may not be able to point to the places you need to go. You may have to seek them out. But you can connect a lot of dots, the LinkedIn route, and hopefully skip a lot of steps and hopefully get closer and closer to what you're actually trying to get involved with in a professional context. So eventually, with some luck, some schmoozing, and maybe real world connections, you'll be able to get better quality engagement from LinkedIn. It's very difficult. And so, anywho, you can actually connect with a lot of people, which is a good way to broadcast your presence by just simply connecting and connecting and connecting. So, for instance, I have 748 connections here, and they happen to, like 99% be in my field of music that I'm using LinkedIn for. All right, so there's a manage connections page. All right, so these are people that would already have accepted my connection, which is very nice of them. And we have search by name here, and we have search with filters. So when I have a lot of connections, I'll be able to further distill different aspects of what's going on with these connections. And this is especially a good way to fine tune and hone in on things so that you don't waste your time or other people's time. So another page is your notifications page, and you can sort of set how this stuff is viewed when you log into LinkedIn. But the first thing you can see when you're on your feed is your little notifications bells, and that'll take you to this page. And so here you can see pertinent notifications, and of course you can tweak to your delight however you want your notifications to be presented, and you can go into great depths to adjust all these things. And I would probably suggest doing that if you want to take this platform seriously, because there's so many sorts of notifications, and they may congest things when it's unnecessary. All right, so that's notifications. But of course, one of the main ways that you engage with people on LinkedIn is through the feed. And so here you can see another adjustable, page where you'll be able to engage with people and then sort of tweak. Once you see how it works, you can tweak what you really want to see most and who you want to see most and how you want to engage most. And you'll have to sort of learn on the fly what works and what doesn't work. So anyway, I'm looking at the news here because, of course, they have a little news section. So they also have a couple games, that could kill some time on LinkedIn. Maybe you're waiting for something from a discussion with a person on LinkedIn. They show from your main feed page who's viewing your profile, what kind of action your post impressions are getting. The more you post, it's like you're increasing your odds of impressions, and you're getting better quality impression if you post a quality post a lot of the time. Also, you have different groups and recent places you may have been. And of course, you can filter out this stuff, this little menu here, so that you can have a quicker access to pertinent things you want to be able to sort of engage with yourself. And so it's kind of like a jobs newspaper with also a built-in networking to some degree. And so that's the feed section. So we also have the messaging section where you can see quickly, ways to get in touch with people. And they also have a thing called InMail in case you're not connected with people. And of course, they have these different tiers of, memberships. And I really appreciate LinkedIn's like basic, what they represent, their basic offering. So sometimes I'll use the premium mainly to get access to the training that comes with it. There are many additional features, of course, that come with it. So it's probably worth checking out for a first glance. And I think they always have a rolling free trial. So another very important side of LinkedIn, besides being able to adjust your profiles and adjust your security settings and all the other stuff, is the jobs section. So here in jobs, we have a lot of options to search for work or even contract work. And if you're a recruiter, it's the opposite. It's like you're going to be dealing with creating posts for jobs and things like that. So, you have your preferences, for your basic ways that you kind of broadcast what you're looking for. You have save jobs, and you can fill out information to get career insights. And so, most importantly, whatever you enter on your profile, they automatically start propagating your jobs feed. This is sort of the jobs feed with pertinent opportunities, supposedly, to go along with whatever your profile is about to dovetail. So if I find a particular company, so if I was going through, this ad, and then I saw this company and I like this company, I could just select whatever is going on with that company and then see jobs that they have posted as well from their portal. So a lot of these places are going to have their own nicely laid out web page within LinkedIn, so you can find out more information about who works there and what is going on with the company. So it also, because of that, it adds some degree of Crunchbase. And Crunchbase is a site that deals with knowing the fiscal side of the company, what's really going on in a deeper sense. If you're looking for more advanced career opportunities or higher level career opportunities. So, for instance, there's a couple ways to look through your feed for jobs for like specific companies. So, for instance, if I was looking for content, if I was looking for just this company, I could search for jobs for just this company, and I would do that here, and I could distill the information from there. And if I'm looking for jobs that are in my radius or closer to my radius, I can do that using this address information. And it's very simple as well. It's like you simply go in, like let's say I'm looking for a composer. Now, there's really not a lot of opportunities for composers because it's such a saturated market, but there could be a couple of things available in some contexts. And like here they have songwriter, gospel musician. And then if I eliminate my address, I might be able to get potentially more opportunities. So this is an additional job filtration system. So I could choose when the post was made. So these are all just like free ways to distill information or filter information by default. And there's many, many ways to do this. It's really remarkable, from location to how easy it is to apply, if it's volunteer, if it's full-time, if it's part-time, if it's an internship, what particular companies had sort of a cross-pollination with the word composer. But actually an easier one would be like catering director. There's a lot of companies that are always looking for this kind of stuff. So they have expo and catering beverage supervisors. And another one I looked up the other day, which is close by, is called the Villages. Just doing some research. And so you see how many people have potentially applied, more information about the job. This is how you apply for it. It looks like it takes you to ADP in this case, and you would go and you would fill out their information there. And they even give you a sort of heads up, I guess, with some of these, where you can go and look into, who directly to interact with potentially on LinkedIn. So it's a very, very deep site. You can spend a lot of time on this platform and think of new ways to sort of research and look for your specific jobs. And of course, when you start doing that, you're going to be inundated with many different aspects of things that may take you to even another pathway you may not expect. And that's sort of the beauty of a complete jobs-oriented site. If there was any site that's oriented around finding the job and the career and developing all that on the corporate side, that site is LinkedIn. There's nothing comparable, really. And like I say, because they give you the glimpses into the company's information, So, they have like a basic thing about when this company was founded, and then jobs, and then something about the people here, show more information, locations. And if you have, what I'm actually looking for is they had another thing on premium where they showed more about the balance sheet of the company, just in terms of how they're doing with growth and all that stuff. So there's definitely, like, they have this thing here about insights. So they have more insights when you have premium, of course. And I can see just by going to the company's page who on this company is already on LinkedIn, where they live, where they may have studied, things like that. And it really goes on and on. So that's just an example of that. There was a way to get directly to like one company. I was trying to find that for you. I don't think I can find it right now. But I guess that's just about it. You would just go to the company's page and look for jobs. So that's the gist of what's happening with LinkedIn. And you'll be able to find a lot of opportunities, even if they're not necessarily in your direct field. You may have to have in between jobs like most people. And there's just an abundance of that that's posted online these days because they really utilize these platforms heavily at this point, in addition to utilizing the built-in AI features and things like that. So, another one is like, for instance, if I was going to look up something like music supervisor, and then here in California, and I would go maybe here. Oh, that's funny. They didn't list any. So they have music producer. That's very interesting. So this is one of those areas where it's like, really? Could be just the location that was a problem. So let's remove that. So they have music director, but that looks like it might be for a church. A lot of music directors, huh? If we look up director, or janitor. So here we have janitor. So I find janitor, and let's say I wanted to, of course, get closer to me. So I have this option to choose by location, of course, and then I can also search my more precise location. And what's nice is that it immediately adds a range so I can get closer to me. It's similar to the tool on Indeed. So you can see real quickly like what's available in your area. And then if you want to just quickly distill by salary, or companies in particular, it really goes on and on. So this is just an example, like anything you can think of. There's many ways to look at this stuff. And one more thing I'll show is when you're looking at your network and you go to the network page, it gives you an additional network colleagues that you may want to connect with, who are potentially already connected with other people you're connected with. And that's the big way, or a big way, you can really keep growing this thing, because I could say, let me just connect with all these people, right away, and it's boom, 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 boom. And another thing is if I search, let's say music supervisor, because I'm looking for them, and they're not necessarily looking for jobs on LinkedIn, but they're looking for opportunities to be a music supervisor. But I'm looking for them, so I would look up them. And I search all. And it's another one of those opportunities to, distill information, what company, if I know a bit about the, certain shows or whatever, I can look into certain people. And so, there's basically, looks like 37,000 results that are pretty well in the ballpark of music supervisor. And these guys have, like this person I've never seen before, and I would immediately like want to connect with them. So how do you do it? Boom, it's that simple. And that's the beauty of this. Now, when you're on the basic platform subscription, you can only add so many links at once. So that's one caveat, and it refreshes every week. So there's probably a lot of people I could link here with, and by the time I was done doing that, I would go from maybe like 750 to 1,000 in no time flat. And so the thing is it takes not very long for these people to come back, and they usually are pretty congenial about it, and they're good with all that stuff. So they will connect with you, but they may not necessarily have time to engage with you, but they will. A lot of them will connect with you. So, anyways, that's how you sort of get the gist of this stuff. And one other thing is, if you have people who you want to get closer to their specific contacts, you can also do that. And this is where the triangulation stuff comes into play. So if I know that one of my contacts has other contacts that I need, so I don't really know too much about these people in particular, but I can see who is mutual connection, and I can go to their connections. And I would use the word purge, but it's probably not a good word but for this. But so, for instance, that person is like obviously super connected right off the bat with a lot of people who are important to what I do. And I'm seeing that a lot of these people are not connected with me. So I would say to myself, yeah, I need to connect with all these people ASAP, which is what I'll try to do. And what happens is, if you connect with somebody you're already pending to connect with, let me see, maybe there may be some people I'm already pending. It won't go through, and it'll just say this didn't work for whatever reason. So this person, it looks like they're good. I could try to connect with them. And another important thing is you could just add a note, hello, blah, 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 So in this case, I'll just connect with them. And I will go down this list. This person had 500 connections plus. So I could go through like all these freaking connections to my heart's content and connect with every single one of these people. And it has to do with this second degree connection. So anywho, that's really the gist of the power of what's going on with LinkedIn. There's really not a catch here. The only catch is it's just very difficult to truly get engagement. And they're willing to connect, but finding the work that's going to be the big cash cow is very difficult. So that's not an assurance. So anyways, that's what's up with LinkedIn in 2024, coming on in 2025 soon. Still going strong all these years. Not much has really changed in a negative light since its onset. It's been a very stable platform. And even with the acquisition of Microsoft, not much changed. So only thing has happened really is improvements. I do not like the AI stuff. I think there's a lot of people that feel uneasy about AI, and they're just doing way too much with that stuff. But that is what it is. It's there, and it's going to be around for however long they want. But other than that, it's how cool is it that you can go to a company like Mood Media, and I can immediately see all of the people who have a LinkedIn connection with them, which means that they're connected with Mood Media and connected with LinkedIn. So I can immediately start really hankering down and trying to engage with these people. So anywho, as you can see, there's a lot of pending here, because that's where the truly difficult part is, to like really find people who are willing to, engage in a realistic sense versus just, add another friend. So stuff like that. So that's one of the big things about LinkedIn too, is that, the popular people, it's the same story as in reality. They have a lot of people that they, have friends with or links with, but they don't necessarily have meaningful engagement with all those people. So anyway, I leave it at that. Hope you enjoy this slight presentation. LinkedIn is an interesting platform. I've used it off and on for many years. And good luck to everyone out there looking for work and trying to live and do an honest job in this day and age. Good luck.